My name's Al White. This is my friend.
I'm Nathan Hertz.
And we're making our first feature film. It's called Starfish. It's from our production company Tessellate. We're based out of LA, we're based out of London, we're based out of Tokyo. And this is our Starfish Stories. This is episode 2. We did one a couple of weeks ago. We're doing them every other Monday. They will be going up for the duration of about a year that it takes us to pre-produce the film, shoot the film, post-production, get it submitted to festivals, and then we're going to drop off the map.
Yeah.
You're never going to hear from us again.
That's it. This is the last diary of Al White.
This is the end.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I feel a lot tired than I did 2 weeks ago when we started.
Oh, yeah.
this thing. So yeah, if you want to catch up, go back. We are Tessellate on YouTube. We have a channel. You can see all of our other stuff. But yeah, you can catch up on the Starfish Diaries. But this is just our second one.
Yeah.
So not much to catch up on. So first feature film.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, we were in South Dakota.
Yeah, we're location scouting.
We were. And now we're just 2 weeks later and we're in LA. A lot of stuff's happened in 2 weeks. It's weird because at the same time, time's going really quickly and I'm getting scared because the weeks just go. Mm-hmm. But also you look back on 2 weeks and wow, a lot happened in those 2 weeks.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
So we're going to talk as honest as we can throughout this entire series about the film and about what the process is for people making their first feature and the mistakes we make and the lessons that we learn. So hopefully it helps other people who are interested. So let's talk about location scouting. What's the process of that then? So you look up stuff online as best as you can. Mm-hmm. Now, some people might go and get location scout first. That might be what they do. Mm-hmm. You're just going to pay someone professional. You can have someone from where you are from. So we could have got someone from LA and been like, okay, we need you to do this. They could contact people remotely. Mm-hmm. And then they can go out there and look at stuff and then come back to us. It's kind of like casting.
Yeah.
They can just do all that. Instead, because we're low budget, we didn't have much time, we decided we were going to go out. So we went out to South Dakota. We did the research. It was kind of fit a lot of our criteria and had a look around, took photos and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it went really well. We got really lucky because we got to South Dakota. I don't know if we mentioned this in the last one. And just heavy snow just suddenly appeared.
Right, yeah.
And some of this film is in heavy snow. Some of it has no snow. So we got heavy snow straight away, which was great. We got to see, oh, cool, this is how it's going to look for some of the film. And then that snow just went.
Yeah.
And it was from one morning to the evening.
Our last 2 days there, it was could have been the middle of summer. Pretty much. Yeah.
Which is ideal for us because then I got to go back to some locations we had started to cherry pick and could see them then. Oh, this is how it'll look in summer then. So I got to see both sides, which was great.
Cool.
And our producer had come out by that point. Yeah, and we went and we met with a production company, a little production company out there who've done some cool things.
Yeah, what are they called again?
We're going to get names name check next time.
Okay, but...
Because we're not fully prepared.
Yeah, they were super sweet people, and they operate in South Dakota, and Aldo, the producer, found them online, and we met with them, and they're going to do some final location scouts and maybe handle some things, some smaller logistical challenges, like extras potentially, and...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing something like this, definitely something I would advise from my experience so far is get people local. There are certainly, you can get people with way more experience if you want to, who are from LA or, wherever you're based. But for something like this, for me, it just really benefits you. Getting people local who know the area, know the politics, know what people are like, know what things you can do, what things you can't do, where the problems are going to arise. Because it's just going to make it much quicker. Because anyone else you use is going to have to talk to those people anyway. Yeah. They're just going to charge you to go through them.
Totally.
People. And people in South Dakota, they're very nice.
They are.
Very friendly people. For the most part, other than one or two drive-by people. Yeah. But you just turn up places and talk to people, and they'd show you around immediately, unlock things. We had a cinema reopen for us just to let us in.
We got really lucky with a lot of stuff, and we asked one person what would be the challenges in shutting off a section of street for the morning so we could get a clean snow look, and they were like, well, what do you mean? We just shut it off.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
You just talk to the authorities, get it shut off. Okay. We shut off the freeway at one point.
Sure. Great.
So it's definitely been good for us because it means, us, we're what do you call it? We're mid-low budget, do you call it? Low budget?
Oh, in terms of our SAG agreement?
Yeah.
Medium to low budget?
Medium, low budget, or something.
It's not ultra low budget, right?
It's not ultra low budget.
Yeah,
so ultra low budget, just so people don't know, is 250,000 below. The next bracket is 251,000 to 500,000, is it? I think.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a little bit higher. I'm not about. We'll get Aldo on.
I've
He'll
been
be able
in
to
the
talk about
ultra
this.
low budget up to this point now, so I'm not exactly sure.
Well, but this is so we're going to throw in something else really quickly here, and this is definitely one of the first tips I learned and was told about, which we're kind of breaking here because our budget, as we said before, was 300,000 for this. And I was always told if you're at 250,000 and somehow you get 50 extra thousand, it's not worth it. You're burning that extra 50,000 for the stuff you'll have to do to be in that SAG, basically. So you're still going to end up with a $250,000 film. You're just burning that 50,000.
Right.
But there are ways, depending what state you shoot in and stuff like that, where that's not entirely true. Because I was talking to my producer about that yesterday and going, is it even like, are we doing this right? Is it worth us having this extra 50 invested in this? But yeah, that's just like, it's definitely worth when you're making your first feature, looking at that stuff and looking at the parameters of, well, where are you going to have to spend money on the back end for unions? Fun stuff like that. But we're not going to talk too much about that because that's definitely not what we're like. We know a little bit about it, but Aldo knows a lot about it.
But anyway, long story short, right, location scouting was...
You try and get me back on track. What are you doing? I was off on a journey.
So where are we now? So we finished... Well, have we finished location scouting?
No, well, so we picked some places we definitely liked. We picked maybe 3 places that we thought these are ideal for what we want. A couple of the key locations I only found on the last day, and we had some lovely people again open up, shut things, show us an apartment immediately and things, and got kind of excited. Don't know if they're perfect, don't know if it'll work out, but some great options. We then talked to these location people. They're going out and looking for us right now. I think they just finished yesterday. So by the time this video goes up, we'll be getting all their stuff back. So what normally happens, you'll pay them not too much money normally if they're nice people, and they'll just do a couple of days work really if they know the area. They'll go out, check out places, talk to people, and then they come back to you with photos and information and some rates and stuff like that. We'll then look at that next week and try and hammer some of that down. I need to show stuff to my DP, and we'll talk about him in a minute because we mentioned it briefly in the last one. And then from there onwards, like it'll become a very quick thing of, okay, solidifying. I mean, there's not one way to do this. For me, we're in storyboard territory right now. And I want the storyboards to be as locked in with locations that we're actually shooting as much as possible. And that's part of the reason we've delayed a little bit with the storyboards. It's because I would prefer something that was adhering more to the visuals we're actually going to get.
I see. And when you do your storyboards, are you going to work with your DP?
Definitely.
Okay.
So, I mean...
Like same room work with?
Well, I can't. So my DP's in Spain. So we've been Skyping, not very easily sometimes, because where he is, there hasn't been good internet. For us, visuals are very, very, very important with this film. Very important. Partly because there's not tons of talking and a lot of the story is told for visuals. Partly just because he's a very visual person and I am as well. And then also because we're doing some crazy weird stuff with this, which we'll definitely talk about on a different episode of this show. So for us, it's meticulous planning with almost every shot. It's very important. So we want to work with the storyboard artists as much as we can. We've been trying to figure out how we want to do that. So at the moment, we're going through... We can talk about that right now then. I've been talking to my DP. We talked through all of his problems. He had all these wonderful notes of all the problems he had with the script and all the things he was worried about. And we went through all of that. Made him happy, I hope.
Good.
Or I just kept talking till he just couldn't be bothered. So I was like, fine. And then, then we started talking about, okay, let's just literally go through the script. Scene by scene by scene, talking about what are we trying to accomplish with this scene? Are there definite rules we want to do with the camera technique, For instance, our first shot is actually one of the trickiest ones. Our first shot is all one shot, and it goes from an interior to an exterior.
I didn't realize you were one-shotting that.
And there's light purely by flame, and stuff like that. So we have to immediately get into, okay, well, we're trying to be as natural as we can. Like we need to do tests and with rigging different Zippo lighters and seeing how much light we can give off, if it's enough to tell the story we want to tell. And bits like that for us are going to be more like theater because there's a lot of elements. We need a lot of people triggering different things to make it work like theater in one shot because we don't want to go CGI too much and doing that stuff. So we're going to break it down like that in order. So then we can start going to the storyboard artists when we haven't even finished going through the whole script. But we know, okay, we've done the first 10 pages, we've done the first 20 pages. And the storyboard artist then can have all of our notes and they can Skype with me and Alberto, get on board definitely with what we're doing and what's important to us. And then I'm hoping our storyboard artists will be in LA, so then I can meet up with them then and make sure they're on track. Not everyone does that. Some people don't care. Some people just have a storyboard artist, something we have to do, tick the box,
No,
get it done. No, but some people are. Some people are. And some
crazy.
people just trust the storyboard artist with the visuals. That's the thing. And I don't.
The storyboard artist with the visuals for the film.
In terms of they'll meet with them, they'll talk about what they're trying to do, but there's a lot of films where it's just two people, like we talked about this before, two people are talking.
Yeah.
Look at any, so if you're not, like, if you're new to film, or you're just like, you know, interested in this for whatever reason, look at any film. Look at any film where two people are talking. 98% of the time, it's just going to be over someone's shoulder and over the other person's shoulder without crossing the line. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff like that when you read a script and the storyboard artist is just, okay.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're doing. Mid,
Yeah.
wide, whatever.
Sure.
You know, this isn't one of those films. For us, like, we're trying to constantly find interesting ways to tell those stories. And we want every scene to have an interesting visual element to it. So we definitely want to be overlooking the storyboard artists all the time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And not wasting anyone's time. Because if they draw something and then you look at it, like, well, that's not actually helping us
Right.
anyway when we come to shoot.
Yeah.
What's the point? Some people don't use storyboard artists. Some feature film directors, I know, like Werner Herzog, he hates storyboard artists.
Really?
He thinks it's the biggest problem to stunt creativity is having a storyboard artist.
Really?
Yeah. He thinks everything should be decided on in the moment, basically.
That sounds stressful.
Yeah, but like some of his films are awful. Some of his films
Yeah.
are wonderful. One of my favorite films that we talk about quite a lot, Monsters. No storyboarding for that, no script for that either. To be
Yeah.
honest. So I mean, you can.
I mean, if
absolutely
you
do it.
understand the rules, then I think it's okay to break them and.
Well, I think it's important.
Responsibly, if you know that you'll have the time on set.
Yeah, that's what the key is, I think. Because Monsters, again, like one director, one sound guy, one person driving them around, two actors. So you don't have a crew.
Yeah.
And essentially, and this is where some people get involved with certain elements of filmmaking, and it's just about the grandeur and the posture of, I want to do this thing because this is what a proper film does.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But it's like, that's not, but the reason they do that is for a reason. And the reason you have a storyboard is if you have a massive crew. And it's because you need something to refer to that everyone can look at and get the same
Exactly.
information from. There's nothing lost in translation.
Exactly.
That's why these documents are made. If you have a teeny tiny crew, no, you probably don't need one. Or if you do, like, I quite often would shoot my stuff where I had a storyboard, but only me and my DP would ever look at it.
Yeah.
No one else would ever see it because
Yeah.
they don't need to see it.
Right.
So yeah, I think, there are certainly, you can break that rule
Yeah.
at points and not have a storyboard artist. But if you're the director and the cameraman, and you're doing something with a very small crew, then sure, sometimes if your vision's clear, then
Yeah.
why
Totally.
not?
Well, cool. Okay, so the storyboards are happening. The locations that we're finalizing.
Yep.
Where are we with casting now?
We're casting now.
Casting.
This is the exciting bit.
Is
mate.
this the exciting bit? I thought it was already exciting now.
No, the rest is dull. This is the bit I'm excited about because,
Okay.
as I said last time, this is a film that centers mostly around one person. So before we get into casting, very quickly, last time we gave a little bit of information about the film. We said we're going to reveal more and more as we go along. Obviously not too much because we want the film to be a surprise
Right.
and hopefully still be effective. But some people I know on our last video said, I don't really understand what the film's about still. So I'm going to read a tiny little bit about it.
Okay.
So this is a visual treatment. We talked about this last time. This is the one that we made. We send this out to people who want to get involved so they get an idea for the mood. Some images, like this one, is from a famous artist. Some will be from other films. Some will be images we've done ourselves. You just do whatever gets in there to get the mood across. Now, we're actually going to make this available for people to look at, albeit with bits of dialogue and wording blocked out. So there's no spoilers and stuff. And we'll put that up online for people to download. If you keep following our account on Twitter, We Are Tessellate. We Are Tessellate with 2 S's, 2 L's. Then, we'll do that over the next week or so. But this is kind of how it looks. You have lots of imagery.
So
You do a basic basic breakdown of the film at the front with like a log line and then some things that the film is like. So here we've mentioned Eternal Sunshine, A Spotless Mind, I Am Legend, and then also Blue Ruin, It Follows, and Monsters.
cool.
Then you do a breakdown of the characters, at least
Okay.
the main two characters, very basic history about them. I like to put in a few quotes from the film so you get a few actual lines of dialogue.
Totally.
And then you need something to do with the creator or the writer, the director.
Is this
whoever
the
it is.
official poster, by the way?
No, we don't
No,
have an
okay.
official post yet.
Okay, gotcha.
That's actually a stolen image. So
Stolen
no.
image. Okay, I keep turning the page here.
turning. Then at the end, we like to put, now when you do ones for actual producers or investors, you're going to need to go into great detail on projections, on money, on examples of other types of films, exactly how they've made money over the years. You need to go into a lot of financial detail. It's worth reading up about that. It's worth getting someone who knows what they're doing with that.
Yeah,
Because that's
there's
something...
some really good classes too. It's not like you can just...
I'm just going to turn this camera on again. So I also learned that the 5D turns off after 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have to keep rebooting.
So anyway, what was I saying?
Good classes for that
Yeah,
stuff.
good classes for that stuff. You'll get, it's too much to go into now.
So at the back, all I do, I like to put in different films so people can see what type of film we're making. Get an immediate idea. If you read all this and you're like, okay, I'm still not sure, from that you get a good idea. This is the film that we're trying to make. And then I have the budget and then the box office they did. And ideally, you never want your box office to be under the budget when you're putting one of these in your pack. You want to make it look like, this is what a movie would be like. All these other movies made money. Our one's going to make money.
Yeah.
There's not a science to it. You never know if your movie's going to make money. But you have to at least give the impression that other films similar have. So I'm just going to read out the log line. So right now, tying into our casting, we met with our new casting director, who's wonderful, and I'll check for next episode if we're allowed to name her and stuff like that. Really lovely, really enthusiastic, really got the film, which for a small film like this is so important that every single person involved gets it, genuinely is passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because you'll notice a weak link of someone just phoning it in. She then needed the log line from me.
Let's hear it. I want to hear the log line.
So this is the log line. Now log lines are horrible things.
This is the log line now?
This is the comment. You ready?
Yeah.
This is the log line :
Okay.
a grieving young woman is trapped in her dead best friend's apartment during the end of the world with a single cassette labeled "This mixtape will save the world." As reality frays at the edges, she begins a journey to piece together a mysterious signal that could be her redemption. That's it.
It's good. It's a good log line.
Well, log lines suck. By their nature,
Writing log lines are hard.
they fucking suck.
Yeah.
But log lines are very important, and most classes you go to for film, if you're writing something, will give you good advice, and you might want to sneer at it, as I used to when I was at film school, because you're like, I don't need this advice, I know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing. Write a log line.
Yeah.
Do it early on. When you get your idea for a film, make your fucking log line. Now, it'll probably change by the time you're at the end, but if you can't summarize your film up in 2 sentences in a log line, it's too complicated. Like, it's too messy, it's too unfocused. And this is what every class will tell you. You need to be able to write a log line because it will help you focus. It will help you know what are the strengths, what are the marketing sides of your film as well. Because no one wants to buy and sell a film. And no distributor is going to look at a film where your log line's like, oh, and this is happening. And it just trails off. You need to be concise. You got to... It's weird with log lines as well because you kind of have to tell the story, but not. You have to kind of entice people. You want to read the screenplay.
Yeah, you want to tell them what it's about, but at the same time, almost give them the energy or the impetus as well, right?
You're dangling a carrot, essentially. You're also not meant to mention names and things like that. You're not meant to, label stuff. They want you to always have a descriptive for your character and things like that.
Yeah.
There are specific rules. Obviously, you can break some of them, but I would say it's a very good exercise if you're writing anything.
Yeah.
Write the log line early on, so you know you're focused with where your story's going. What are the important factors? And then I had to write something for myself as well. So I wrote, Starfish is an intimate and honest portrayal of a girl grieving for her best friend that just happens to take place on the day the world ends as we know it. With elements of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind filtered through the scope of I Am Legend and indie sensibilities of monsters, it's an incredibly personal, reflective journey that works as both an atmospheric, widescreen apocalyptic epic as well as an in-depth psychological character study.
Ooh.
Now, I hate writing this stuff because you kind of have to
mic to drop.
Just drop it and walk
Yeah.
out. I hate writing that stuff because you have to pick yourself up a little bit, and it's always a balance of, if you come out and you're being too showy, it's like, this is amazing and this is going to make loads of money and it's really cool, no one's going to believe you. You seem too desperate.
Yeah.
If you're too humble, no one's going to think you're confident enough and with your vision. So it's a difficult balance, definitely, to do. So that's where we're at now.
Cool.
Getting all that stuff together, going out to casting. It'll take about a month to go through all the casting process. So by the time, unless we find someone straight away, which could happen, by the time we're done with this, it'll be beginning of June, and we'll have a month, 2 weeks until we're shooting.
That's mad.
Yeah. But a lot of films do actually cast right up to the wire, particularly indie films.
Yeah.
A lot do. It's not unusual.
I actually feel like it might be really good for making offers to bigger actors too, because it's like this isn't something that they're gonna have to keep 2 years from now available. This is something that it's like, you know what?
I have a gap
next week. Month. I am free. Like,
yeah. It can be good. It can be bad. I mean, we have a good and bad thing, and that, as we said on the last show, our shoot split. So we have 2 weeks into July, and then we have 4 weeks, November, December time.
Right.
And that's something where, it's difficult because you need someone for 2 periods of time. But it's great for us because if we were doing the whole shoot right now, I'd be terrified. Because it'd be, I got a month with this person to make sure we have a good rapport, make sure we're connecting on the character, building the stuff we need to build around the schedule, which is probably, going to be busy unless we do end up with someone really small, which, it's possible and has great attributes to that because then you can work together all the time on it and build the character. But I'd be terrified because they'd be like, well, we have that much time to do it and we're shooting everything.
Yeah.
But at least this way, it's like, well, no, we have that much time. We'll go and shoot essentially the first 20 minutes of the film, which take place in summertime. Well, no snow time. And then go away and then come back months later. And it's kind of great because it means, okay, if anything isn't ironed out in that original bit, A, we can do a reshoot later. If we have to, we can fit it in.
Yeah.
But B, we can learn a lot and then go away, spend more time with that actor, know we have some rapport already, come back, build on that.
Totally.
And do the real meat where the real emotional stuff is going to be there later on.
Awesome.
So that makes me more excited. Otherwise, I would be fucking shitting myself.
Yeah, you get a little bonus period there. That's good.
Exactly.
But the flip side of that, not to bring up a negative, but certain locations, it's like we're gonna be committing to those. There's certain things that can't change in the story, like location. Or casting.
So
really.
that's one of the reasons you're coming in with this because you're a co-producer. You're helping out at the moment, figure out scheduling and locations and stuff. Yeah. That's something we were talking about yesterday, which I have to talk about. Yeah. Maybe on camera's not the best time.
Yeah.
But so stuff like a massive amount of this film is in one location. We're gonna make sure all of that then is done in winter rather than splitting that over 2 sections essentially. That's what we're looking at right now. Because continuity is a big problem.
I really, really like that idea.
But
it's gonna mean whatever. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it. People have been really kind to us, like we said, but you never know when that table could turn. So you don't want to do something, and it all seems great, and then we come back 5 months later.
Yeah.
They've had a divorce. Someone's died. Something bad's happened in their life. They don't like us anymore. Yeah. Whatever it is, and they're like, no, you can't film here anymore.
And people honestly don't realize how disruptive having filming in their environment is.
It takes a lot.
Oftentimes one time is enough for
exactly. They're kind to us now, but if you go to South Dakota after we've been there, no one's going to work with you.
We're going to have to put a 6-foot hole in your ceiling, but don't worry because we're going to stucco it after. 6-foot hole. That's not going to happen. I don't know what we'd be hanging.
We'll see.
Yeah, sure.
Nice little. We don't have a crane, so let's.
Maybe we'll get you a chair that drops in. And
to suspend me. I like it.
You only direct from above.
I want to look down on it. If it's not isometric, I'm not shooting. We're missing out on some of the minutiae, but we don't want to go on too long. We want to keep these as brief as possible.
Absolutely.
We're going to be back every other Monday to keep talking about this stuff. We promise some episodes will be more exciting than others. Some will have more visual cues. We'll have photos, clips of stuff. Other guests will come in and talk about their role.
Probably take my shirt off at some point. So
guaranteed at some point Nate will take his shirt off.
Stay tuned.
So if you like nipples or you like... we'll have...
Flesh where nipples should be.
Are your nipples not made of flesh?
Can we?
Disturbing.
I think that's enough for today. Yeah, that's
we'll definitely get other producers to come on and we'll get other people in different roles. So if you're looking at making a film but you want to see, what does the production designer think or whatever, we'll try and rope in all those people.
Yeah, totally.
So they can talk about their experiences and people who know a lot more than we do about things and share stuff. Please, if you can go on to YouTube, well, you're probably watching this already, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot. You can check out, we have a weekly podcast. If this rambling nonsense wasn't enough for you, goes up every single Tuesday. It's called Geeks. You can get it on iTunes, subscribe to that as well. And then we're going to have some web series. We're actually working right now on a whole bunch of content. So every single day of the week, something's going to be going up, which I'm excited about. We've got some retrospective stuff. We've got some shows we're doing. We've got some web series. We've got a podcast, whole bunch of stuff, including this Starfish Diaries. Thank you really for listening and tuning in. episode 3, 2 weeks time. I don't know what day that is. You can figure it out. You got a calendar? Figure it out. Nate?
All right.
Thanks
It's
very
great
much,
talking.
buddy.
Thanks for chatting.
I like that.
Yeah.
I talk to you
We
later.
don't shake hands.
We're not going to talk now.